place to be, our new founding fathers.
Yeah, Black Power. A late, early edition of the Saturday night Black Revolutionary Block Party. Yeah. I know y'all still out there kicking in Saturday night and everything is all right, right? Yeah, you dig? So stick around because I got a couple of things coming to you real quick, you know? Um, God bless the 19-year-old girl that got unalived by the savage foreigner, and that family knew all about it because they were all there at the time. So nobody's off the hook, but they did take in two people, and we'll see what happens other than a deportation. We need justice. And they did. Trump said it out of his own mouth. Death penalty if you unalive American citizens or law enforcement officer if you are illegal alien. He fits the criteria. Don't take it from me. Take it from Trump. Yeah, Saturday night Black Revolutionary Block Party. Saturday night and everything is alright. And you know I would come to y'all, give y'all a little driving music, a little grinding music, a little being in the trenches music. And I hope they ain't sabotaging me tonight, putting it on. I hope they ain't sabotaging me tonight, putting it on private mode, and then I have to rebroadcast it later because that's like, man, that's a waste of time, you know. But I'm gonna check it out and see. Cause I'm the real black revolutionary, yeah. You did.
Operations in Greenland with the intention of weakening relations between Denmark and Greenland. The report said it was not able to clarify if the Americans were working on their own or under orders from somebody else.
To kill somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And it's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice.
Oh, it didn't happen in one night. These arrests, all 12 of them, and the seizure of all these weapons indicate the seriousness of crime that is occurring in our community.
Now, over 2,300 National Guardsmen and federal agents have been scouring the city for most of the month, despite Congress being on recess. Trump says Republican House and Senate leaders are working on a new legislation to fight crime. Posting last night, Speaker Mike Johnson and Leader John Thune are working with me and other Republicans on a comprehensive crime bill. It's what our country needs, and now more to follow. Make America great again. Now, Congress, like many schools, guys, are back in session after Labor Day.
Somebody murders something in the Capitol. Capital punishment. Capital punishment. If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And it's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice. Is known all throughout the world as occupied America. They call it occupied. We're being occupied by a criminal force. And we're an occupied state that refuses to let our great law enforcement professionals do the job that they so dearly want to do. You know, they want to do the job so badly, but they're threatened constantly. You're going to lose your pension. They don't want to do it. What is this ideology? It's so sick. But to everyone here in Colorado and all across our nation, I make this pledge and vow to you. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. It will be Liberation Day. I will rescue Aurora and every town that has been invaded and conquered. These towns have been conquered. Explain that to your governor. He doesn't have a clue.
Trump's description of
Invasion of illegals into our country. We will defend our territory. We will not be conquered. We will not be conquered. We will reclaim our sovereignty, and Colorado will vote for Trump as a protest and signal to the world that we are not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. And if they come back into our country, they will be told it is an automatic 10-year sentence in jail with no possibility of parole.
the most striking part of Trump's Aurora speech was his call for the death penalty in cases involving undocumented immigrants who commit violent crimes, specifically murder. Take a listen.
And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
Would take on extra shifts, save money, and
No, because proper guidance, proper control, this would never have happened. Because
Light, now confirmed dead, her body found after vanishing without a trace. The hope you clung to shattered in a single sentence. The future you imagined for her erased in one cruel moment. And as you struggle to comprehend the unthinkable, police reveal a name. Hugo Hernandez Mendez, the man now accused of stealing her life. My God, how does a family ever recover from such horror? How does a community process such senseless loss? This is the devastating story of Dakara Thompson. Please subscribe to our channel. Help us hit 1,000 subscribers.
Help
Your
me.
support keeps stories like this alive and ensures that the voices of victims are never forgotten.
Because we are
Now
the
let's
voice
go
of the
back to the
people.
story dot in Prince George's County, Maryland. What began as a missing persons
Bowie,
case quickly
Maryland.
spiraled into a tragedy no one could have imagined. On a quiet day in August 2025, 19-year-old Dakara Thompson vanished without explanation. Friends and family sounded the alarm when she didn't return home. 2 weeks later, the search ended in heartbreak when investigators confirmed her body had been found. The shock only deepened when authorities named her alleged killer, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, a man now facing murder charges. But how did a young woman with her whole life ahead of her end up the victim of such a horrific crime? And what chain of events led to this devastating outcome? Dakara Thompson was only 19 years old, but in those short years she managed to leave an impression on everyone who crossed her path. She was described as the kind of young woman who could walk into a room and change the entire atmosphere. Her smile was warm, her laugh infectious, and her energy carried a quiet strength that made people feel safe and seen. Born and raised in Prince George's County, Dakara grew up surrounded by family who adored her and friends who quickly became extended relatives. Teachers recalled her as a bright student, someone who asked thoughtful questions, who didn't just memorize information but truly wanted to understand it. She was ambitious, driven by dreams bigger than the small neighborhood she called home, and yet she never forgot where she came from. Dakara was known for lending a helping hand, whether it was tutoring classmates who struggled, babysitting cousins so their parents could work, or volunteering for community events. She had a way of stepping into responsibility far beyond her years. At the same time, she still carried the innocence of youth, loved taking selfies with friends, posting upbeat captions on social media, sharing her favorite songs, and dreaming out loud about what her life could be. Her friends would later recall how she talked endlessly about her future, whether it was continuing her studies, building a career, or one day starting her own business. She wanted to make something of herself, not just for her, but for her family. She often said that one day she wanted to buy her mother a house. That was the kind of determination that pushed her. She believed that life wasn't just about surviving. It was about leaving a mark, about building something meaningful.
Leaving a legacy.
Dakara had so much hope in her heart and so much belief that her future was wide open. She loved music and fashion, often experimenting with hairstyles, clothes, and makeup. Her Instagram reflected a young woman who enjoyed showing her personality through colors and creativity. She wasn't afraid of being herself. She wasn't shy about her style, and she loved encouraging her friends to embrace who they were too. Her captions were often short, playful, and filled with positivity. They captured not just how she looked, but who she was. Family meant everything to her. She was a daughter, a sister, a cousin, and a friend who took each role seriously. She never missed a birthday call, never ignored a cry for help, and never let those she loved feel unimportant. To her younger cousins, she was more than family. She was a role model, someone they wanted to grow up and be like. To her close friends, she was the safe place, the one they called when life felt too heavy. 19 years old, just stepping into adulthood, Dakara was at that delicate moment where childhood dreams begin to collide with real-world possibilities. She had dreams, she had plans, and she had time. Or at least she should have had time. Because the heartbreaking truth is that Dakara Thompson never got to see those dreams come to life. Her story ended far too soon. Not because she chose it, but because someone else made that decision for her. And that is what makes her story not just tragic, but unbearable, though only 19. Dakara was already carving out a path for herself. She wasn't content with simply drifting through life. She wanted to build something of her own. Friends say she often spoke about her plans, about how she wanted to continue her education, pursue a stable career, and eventually open a business that could both provide for her and allow her to give back to her community. She was inspired by young women she saw online who turned their talents into successful brands, and she carried that same spark inside her, a vision of creating a life bigger than her circumstances. She was determined not to just work a job, but to build a future. Those closest to her knew she was a hard worker. She would take on extra shifts, save money, and set small goals for herself. Sometimes it was as simple.
And plus that area, I know that area, people real friendly out there. So it's like, that could have been easy to say, hey, you need a ride? You know, it's like, yeah, give me a lift. You know, like, I'm stop by here, you want to smoke one? You're like, yeah, sure, go ahead, get one. Or something like that. Who knows? But whatever the story is, whatever the story was, don't let it happen to y'all.
Buying something nice with her own paycheck. Other times it was about helping her family with bills. Dakara was not afraid of responsibility. She believed in working now to enjoy later. She believed in laying a foundation so she could stand tall in years to come.
Let's go to the news report on that, y'all.
Ridge is already really good at the wallet and all the everyday characters.
While they doing their thing, let me get right back to ours.
The country illegally, not charged with murder in the death of this woman here, 19-year-old Dakara Thompson. She was reported missing by her family last month out of Prince George's County, Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C. Investigators citing surveillance video here of her getting inside the car of Hugo Hernandez Mendez. Maryland officers later executing a search warrant at his home. That's where they uncovered the clues that led them to her body found on the side of a highway. Turns out here he was arrested by U.S. Park Police back in April for driving under the influence, but we've learned federal authorities released him pending trial. Detectives.
There you go. We're going to put our own APB out. Y'all can go ahead and screenshot that joint, send it on out. Yeah. Because we don't know. It's like, are they still on the run? Because, I mean, no, they do. They let them go when it's one of us. And it's, you know, they get the death penalty. Actually, Trump already said if you kill an American citizen or law enforcement agent and you're an illegal alien, you get the death penalty. So there you go. But I don't know. Got a scar on his face too, probably from her scratching his ass.
Barr tonight have not said if or even how the two knew each other. Thompson was living with her father at the time, working for a local nonprofit in her community, all part of a service program for recent high school graduates. The governor, Wes Moore, calling her a bright light in the state of Maryland.
It's been 2 months.
That's why they put it out.
Thompson was killed inside of a house on Cambridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland.
Rafael Sanchez Cruz has been covering the investigation there. Rafa, you spoke to the accused killer's cousin and learned some insight into how this arrest all played out.
Yeah, Lorenzo, Annie, this is a really layered case. So let me walk you through it. Yesterday, investigators executed a search warrant at this home right behind me. But today, there were federal agents back here to arrest a different man. Now, the cousin of Hugo Hernandez Mendez tells me that they found blood inside her cousin's bedroom, that blood belonging to Dakara Thompson. It's in the side bedroom of this Bowie home where investigators say Dakara Thompson was killed. I never thought a family member would do something like that. We are distraught. The cousin of Hugo Hernandez Mendez agreed to speak only if her face was not shown. We will call her Maria. She says her cousin, an immigrant from Guatemala, lived with her family and other relatives, but recently she rarely saw him and his behavior changed.
It's very unfortunate that we have to live in a society where predators are always lurking.
Neighbors are still in shock.
I just felt that there was a need for me to come out and extend my condolences to the family. Oh my goodness, it's connected.
Tracy Franklin says Maryland State Troopers visited her home as part of the investigation.
I am very glad to see that coverage is happening and awareness of a young African-American woman missing, because a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Maria says her husband was also taken by investigators for questioning yesterday, but was released. This morning, she says federal immigration agents were back at their home, this time for her husband, who is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. They do not have an order for my husband or a warrant for me. They simply handcuffed him and took him. Maria insists her husband has nothing to do with the alleged crime. Her young children standing right next to her. She says her husband was taken despite his full cooperation in the criminal investigation. She has this message for Dakara's parents.
They all knew. It happened in the house. And she started screaming in there. And they probably all in on it.
Situation. I really lament that it was a family member of mine, my cousin. I am really sorry.
And they already called for the death penalty.
Wow, she knew. Yeah, we did reach out to ICE to know more details about the arrest of Maria's husband, but we have yet to hear back.
And
Lorenzo, Annie, this community is still processing this horrible tragedy. Back to you.
Heartbreaking conclusion. Rafael, thank you.
Yeah, how about that, y'all? Heartbreaking indeed. And they don't understand, do they? It's like,
in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica.
Charlie Kirk assassinated.
Young, beloved children and his entire family.
September 10th,
more than
2025.
Anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
USA is dead after being shot in Utah. This is not rumor, not speculation, not hearsay. This is fact. On September 10th, 2025, Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, became the scene of an assassination that unfolded in broad daylight. Charlie Kirk, only 31 years old, was the main speaker in an outdoor event held in the Quad. His event was meant to restart what he called the American Comeback Tour, an effort to energize young conservatives and rally them against what he described as left-wing control of America's culture and institutions. He posted on social media, just minutes before. Utah Valley University is fired up and ready for the first stop back on the American Comeback Tour. That would be his final message. The setting was a stage, a microphone, tents where students gathered, and a mix of curious young people, supporters and critics. Kirk's reputation was that he would allow direct challenges from students. He thrived on confrontation, turning every debate into a clip for his social media machine. On this day, one of the final questions he received was about gun violence. Someone asked him how many shootings in the past decade had been committed by transgender individuals. Kirk began to respond with his usual deflection. Are we counting gang violence or not? But before the exchange could continue, a sharp crack tore through the air. Witnesses said for a split second they thought it might have been some kind of sound effect. But then they saw Kirk clutching his neck, blood spraying, and his body crumpling to the ground. Panic consumed the campus. Students screamed. Others ran for cover. Phones shot upward into the air as people tried to capture video or call for help. His private security rushed to his side, pressing cloth to the wound, dragging him off stage, and forcing a path through the crowd toward a waiting SUV. Shouts of "Get down" echoed across the quad. Multiple people described the scene as pure chaos. No one knew if more shots were coming or where the shooter was hiding. Police would later confirm that the shot came from the rooftop of the Losey Center, a building with a clear line of sight across the quad. The shooter was estimated to be between 100 and 200 yards away. Witnesses said the attacker wore all black, a tactical vest, dark clothing, a helmet, a face covering, and aviator-style glasses. In other words, this was no random act. This was an organized killing. A single shot, placed with precision, directly into the neck of the speaker. Initially, police detained a man.
The other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
Such an incredible legacy that he himself said he wants to
Person
be
of interest.
for his courage of faith.
The
and
shooter.
That's all wrapped up with him unequivocally and at every opportunity advocating for peace and the civil discourse. 4 years ago, someone asked about if political violence was ever justified, and he said it is incumbent upon us to exhaust all peaceful options. And there was a figure larger than life that represented so much, saying, I've got death threats, I've been assaulted in public. It is heartbreaking that there was a success to one of those measures. That bullet did not just take Charlie Kirk's life, it pierced a movement. And I thought the same thing, Laura. I wondered, in this huge void,
This video from the scene, it appears to show a person on the roof immediately following the shooting, according to sources familiar with the ongoing investigation. Now, the Utah Department of Public Safety said 2 people were initially taken into custody after the shooting, but later were released. The first was released and later charged with obstruction by university police. The second person was taken into custody and released after an interrogation by law enforcement. Now, Utah authorities have also said that there are no current ties to the shooting with either of those individuals. A single shot was fired on Utah Valley University's Orem campus toward Charlie Kirk, a visiting speaker, shortly after noon on Wednesday. The Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason called the shooting a targeted attack and said the scene is a very large area. Now, just a few hours ago, we met a man from Salt Lake City. He drove here last night. He is a fan supporter of Charlie Kirk. This is why he said he had to be here to see it for himself. Take a listen.
When you're gonna think of a family, raising your family up in a...
Do you want to start on the flags at half staff?
Christian area, neighborhood, no violence.
Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States.
Discussing mass shootings in America when a shot rang out.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
The attack captured on video from multiple angles. The moment of impact, too graphic to show. Authorities over.
I was just sitting there thinking about that ghoul-looking Cash Patel. They ready to fire him over that, but he looked like somebody out of Adam's family to me. Looked like somebody that would do something terrible to children. You know what I mean? Like one of them Freddy Krueger types. You know what I mean? They better figure him out. I'm not joking. He damn cross-eyed and stuff. It's like, man, he dark. It's like you don't even know what damn country he from. He look like he from who knows where, but he ain't from here. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? Unless of course he a multiracial baby. You know what I mean? He looked like perhaps his daddy was from Bombay, and maybe his mama was from Uzbekistan or something like that there. You know what I mean? And yeah, we just covered the news. I ain't got no opinion on it. And won't give Charleston White's opinion on it because I think he got me demonetized earlier, and I'm going to redo it tonight. That's why we're doing the late edition, because I got to redo it because earlier, man, we were jamming and everything else, but I'm just going to strictly stick to business right now. And so that's one of the things that's in the news. So for my people that don't be paying attention or don't really care, and for those that don't care but don't really paying attention, I'm just going to give it to you anyway because I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I'm just not paying attention if y'all don't care. But if y'all don't care, please don't pay attention, but pay attention because I really care. Okay, here we go.
This out. Phone. Irina sat just in front of a man, now identified as DeCarlos Brown Jr. Brown pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed her 3 times in the neck. Irina collapsed and died. Passengers rushed in to help her as Brown slipped off at the next stop. Quickly arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
Hold up.
Charlotte.
They did not rush in. That man walked all around the train, all around these folks.
With a
As
bloody
soon as
knife.
he get off, then they rushed in, but then nobody even looked in his direction. And they could have rushed him at any time.
Mayor Vi Lyles called the attack senseless and tragic, pledging to make the city feel safe for everyone.
We're not going to stand for it, and we're going to come in, we're going to clean it up. You're going to be safe within 2 weeks. So we're going to bring crime down because we can't have cities that are unsafe.
And Charlotte officials drawing sharp criticism from U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who says this violent act could have been prevented.
Trump used any excuse to put the National Guard everywhere with his black folks, and then they're gonna have us already in martial law. So it's like you ain't gotta put us in martial law because we've been living in it. You know, we're living in martial law right now. The people in D.C. living in martial law right this minute. Chicago getting ready, and tell you what, they haven't sent in the military. You see, don't get it twisted. These are our people that's in the National Guard, and that might backfire on them because we ain't gonna fire on ours. See, they're the ones that like to fire on us, not us. We don't fire on us unless us is firing on us with some heavy artillery. Yeah, and they talking about some daggone, you know, that type thing. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Posting this on social media. This monster had a track record longer than a CVS receipt, including prison. By failing to properly punish him, Charlotte failed Irina Zarutska and North Carolinians. This is totally unacceptable. Safety needs to be the top priority of elected officials.
Only reason I'm covering that part right there is because read what it say. First of all, he called him a monster. Why ain't he call him what do you call them people that's out of their mind? You know, somebody with mental problems. maybe should have been diagnosed a long time ago and that type thing. So anyway, this monster had a track record longer than a CBS record. Oh, he gotta juice it up. Why you gotta juice it up? Including the prison time. Okay. So he wanna make sure that Charlotte is safe, of course, by sending in make it the next there's his excuse. They just using whatever excuse they can use because Charlotte is not a violent town. Charlotte's pretty cool. But let's see what
the case has quickly become a national flashpoint, with conservative commentators and even Elon Musk reigniting debates over justice, race, crime, and media bias. A reminder that so many in this country don't feel safe, though national crime numbers are actually down. Murders dropping nearly 15% in 2024 from the year before. And in the middle of the mounting scrutiny, an avalanche of support for Irina's family. A fast-growing GoFundMe campaign for funeral costs has raised tens of thousands for a young woman it says came here for safety.
What about the funeral costs or the young sister that just got killed? We need to be looking into that, see if there's a Dakara Thompson, was it? We'll go back to it. Ain't gonna leave it. Okay, but let's finish this. Did you see how they broadcasting this and they saying death penalty, all that? And here it is. Trump already said if you're an illegal immigrant, you kill a U.S. citizen or law enforcement agent, then you get the death penalty. They ain't said a word about the death penalty. They snatching them up with ICE and stuff. What, are they gonna deport them?
And neighbors describe her as a kind art school graduate with a bright future to match her radiant smile. Just absolutely horrific. Brown is due back in court on September.
Y'all see the parallels there? The sister was the same thing, up and coming. And here it is. She not even from here. See how they don't give a damn about us? It's like, man, you mean tell me? Maybe I don't know. I mean, it's horrific. Both are horrific, but you can't put one over the other. I'll put it like that.
19th, and Charlotte transit officials say that they're beefing up security while Congressman Randy Fine is pushing new legislation to hold judges accountable when repeat offenders strike again, saying, quote, the 12 judges who released DeCarlos Brown Jr. should have their day in court too, end quote there.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation.
What do you say? They have their day in court. My, oh my. Ooh,
Scrap mine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, here you go. Let's see, we gotta have more fathers like this. Well, more fathers that's on top of the game, and I'm sure that their loved ones know.
Put some thumbs up, some stars on that joint. 'Cause that's the only way I can monetize right now. Because I keep giving the people what they want, and that gets me demonetized. As long as I keep them stars, at least I get a little $2 here and there. That'd be good.
Take it from the top. 8-2.
Morning.
Hello, Zachary. Okay, dude.
Sidney Poitier. We're going to the Way Black machine.
Before we do that, we got to do that.
To the subject at hand, which is the midnight hangout with an illegal immigrant finds a 19-year-old sister dead.
Every sound outside making your heart jump, praying endlessly for her safe return. Then the knock comes at the door, the kind of knock that chills a parent to the bone. Officers standing there, their faces heavy with the weight of what they are about to say.
And let's turn this around and take it from the top, because I want y'all to see the person instead of the, hearing about the person. Let's just go right to the person. You know what I mean? We would have done it that way if I could have been on StreamYard, but I've been on
This a rebroadcast on StreamYard, and I'm hoping that it'll be public and not on private.
How in the hell? Yeah, they sabotaging me. That's all I can say. Has to be sabotaged. There's no other way around.
So now y'all know every time I put out a broadcast, it's like, what? Private mode? And my followers can't see it? Nobody can see it? But sometimes y'all can see it when I rebroadcast it, as long as you're following or subscribing.
When I'm on the street, 60 seconds with the car.
I don't know if I got subscribers. I ain't that deep in it.
Where's your birthday? What's your favorite color? Okay, what's your dream occupation? Ooh, I like that. Okay, what's your big pet peeve? I like meat people. What's your
college student?
Everything we do is for the people. If we can get some contributions too, that's good
The phone
too.
calls going unanswered. The
Get
text
some
left
stars,
unread. The suspense
get
staring
this
at the front
channel
door, hoping she will walk through.
monetized.
2
Keep it
weeks of searching,
monetized.
begging, pleading with strangers to share her photo. Every hour feeling like a lifetime.
Unfortunately, I won't be able
Every
to play other
sound
people's
outside
music.
making your
As
heart
simple
jump.
as that.
Praying
Tried
endlessly
it
for her
earlier.
safe
Got
return.
myself
Then the
on
knock at the
the
door.
hot list
The kind of
again.
knock that chills a
They say,
parent.
oh, you had
Pick her up.
monetization
Officers
yesterday,
standing
but not
there,
today.
faces heavy with the weight of what they are about
So
to
I'll
say.
redo it and see if
Your
that
child
helps.
is gone. Your
Probably won't,
19-year-old
but
daughter, Dakara Thompson, once full of laughter, dreams
they
and
on
light,
that one more
now
time, one more
confirmed dead.
again.
Her body found after vanishing without a trace. The hope you clung to shattered in a single sentence. The future you imagined for her erased in one cruel moment. And as you struggle to comprehend the unthinkable, police reveal
Lay that part back.
the kind of knock that chills a parent to the bone. Officers standing there, their faces heavy with the weight of what they are about to say. Your child is gone. Your 19-year-old daughter, Dakara Thompson, once full of laughter,
That's what I
dreamed.
wanted to hear. Dakara Thompson. Let's give Dakara Thompson a moment of silence and a 10, 7 and a 7 beat. Dakara Thompson.
And light, now confirmed dead. Her body found after vanishing without a trace. The hope you clung to shattered in a single sentence. The future you imagined for her erased in one cruel moment. And as you struggle to comprehend the unthinkable, police reveal a name. Hugo Hernandez Mendez, the man now accused of stealing her life. My God, how does a family ever recover from such horror? How does a community process such senseless loss? This is the devastating story of Dakara Thompson. Please subscribe to our channel. Help us hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, help me.
Your support keeps stories like this alive
That's
and
right.
ensures that the voices of victims are never
Help
forgotten.
me
Now
go
let's
up.
go back to the story dot in Prince George's
Because
County.
I'm giving y'all the real
What
scoop.
began as a missing persons case quickly
The
spiraled
People's
into a
Network, the
tragedy
People's Show,
no
giving
one
you
could have
more what
imagined.
you're walking the door
On a
for.
quiet day in August 2025,
The real
19-year-old
black
Dakara
news.
Thompson vanished without explanation. Friends and family sounded the alarm when she didn't return home. 2 weeks later, the search ended in heartbreak.
So hit the
when
Cash App
investigators confirmed her
and
body
keep
had been
the
found.
broadcast
The shock only
strong.
deepened when authorities named her alleged killer, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, a man now facing murder charges. But how did a young woman with her whole life ahead of her end up the victim of such a horrific crime? And what chain of events led to this devastating outcome? Dakara Thompson was only 19 years old, but in those short years, she managed to leave an impression on everyone who crossed her path. She was described as the kind of young woman who could walk into a room and change the entire atmosphere. Her smile was warm, her laugh infectious, and her energy carried a quiet strength that made people feel safe and seen. Born and raised in Prince George's County, Dakara grew up surrounded by family who adored her and friends who quickly became extended relatives. Teachers recalled her as a bright student, someone who asked thoughtful questions, who didn't just memorize information, but truly wanted to understand it. She was ambitious, driven by dreams bigger than the small neighborhood she called home, and yet she never forgot where she came from. Dakara was known for lending a helping hand, whether it was tutoring classmates who struggled, babysitting cousins so their parents could work, or volunteering for community events. She had a way of stepping into responsibility far beyond her years. At the same time, she still carried the innocence of youth, loved taking selfies with friends, posting upbeat captions on social media, sharing her favorite songs, and dreaming out loud about what her life could be. Her friends would later recall how she talked endlessly about her future, whether it was continuing her studies, building a career, or one day starting her own business. She wanted to make something of herself, not just for her, but for her family. She often said that one day she wanted to buy her mother a house. That was the kind of determination that pushed her. She believed that life wasn't just about surviving. It was about leaving a mark, about building something meaningful.
Leaving a legacy.
Dakara had so much hope in her heart and so much belief that her future was wide open. She loved music and fashion, often experimenting with hairstyles, clothes, and makeup. Her Instagram reflected a young woman who enjoyed showing her personality through colors and creativity. She wasn't afraid of being herself. She wasn't shy about her style, and she loved encouraging her friends to embrace who they were too. Her captions were often short, playful, and filled with positivity. They captured not just how she looked, but who she was. Family meant everything to her. She was a daughter, a sister, a cousin, and a friend who took each role seriously. She never missed a birthday call, never ignored a cry for help, and never let those she loved feel unimportant. To her younger cousins, she was more than family. She was a role model, someone they wanted to grow up and be like. To her close friends, she was the safe place, the one they called when life felt too heavy. 19 years old, just stepping into adulthood, Dakara was at that delicate moment where childhood dreams begin to collide with real-world possibilities. She had dreams, she had plans, and she had time. Or at least she should have had time. Because the heartbreaking truth is that Dakara Thompson never got to see those dreams come to life. Her story ended far too soon. Not because she chose it, but because someone else made that decision for her. And that is what makes her story not just tragic, but unbearable. Though only 19, Dakara was already carving out a path for herself. She wasn't content with simply drifting through life. She wanted to build something of her own. Friends say she often spoke about her plans, about how she wanted to continue her education, pursue a stable career, and eventually open a business that could both provide for her and allow her to give back to her community. She was inspired by young women she saw online who turned their talents into successful brands, and she carried that same spark inside her, a vision of creating a life bigger than her circumstances. She was determined not to just work a job, but to build a future. Those closest to her knew she was a hard worker. She would take on extra shifts, save money, and set small goals for herself. Sometimes it was as simple.
And plus that area, I know that area, people real friendly out there. So it's like, that could have been easy to say, hey, you need a ride? You know, it's like, yeah, give me a lift. You know, like, I'm gonna stop by here. You want to smoke one? You're like, yeah, sure. Go ahead, give one.
I went to St. Louis, Missouri the other day. They had Black Panthers from all over the country. No one knew about it at all. They had machine guns, recoilless rifles, grease guns, Lugers, 25 of them, all armed. The chief policeman here at the airport when I arrived, they were there, right there at the steps. He said he was violating the law. Yeah, we're violating the law. He said, we're tired of our white and black leaders, Jackie and Martin and Bobby being killed. We're going to protect this man right here. They didn't arrest one of them. Because they said if you arrest one, then somebody's going to die, because we are ready to kill. proud to be white. We're proud to be black. Black is beautiful, baby. It's pretty. I always say to my brothers, I say, they don't worry about white chicks. We got everything from chalk to charcoal in our own race. That's it. Black is beautiful. Black power means dignity. Means we're gonna walk side by side with you, or through you. We're gonna be with dignity and integrity. We don't want any more than you have, and we're not gonna accept any less than you have. That's my enough.
I will never say that progress has been made. If you take a knife and might back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me. And they haven't even begun to pull a knife out, much less trying to heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
And back to our rebroadcast, because I had to come back because I just want to give you all the details on our things, not their things. Wow, they don't think about us. We got to be thinking about us so we can lower the red, black, and green.
Before we get to that, let me get to this. Hold tight. Right on. Okay. And we dealing with the sevens. Because 7:07 p.m.
But that was early, and now we're on the night shift.
September the 13th.
Almost midnight.
Yeah. So
still September 13th, but almost midnight. Midnight on the nose.
Take a ride with me real quick.
So we are officially on the 14th, September the 14th, Sunday. But it's actually still nighttime, so you know.
So little brother Shaka. Going down in the trenches, the buoy, where the young lady got her demise.
And we about to cut this off.
Foreigner, illegal immigrant. We're going to cover that too. But before I do that, let me do this.
Because I know it's getting late for the people on the East Coast. Midnight.
Yeah, you know you can bet your last dollar.
There's a block party.
Hey, May will treat you right.
And we got to play something for everybody. We're going to play something for grandma,
everything in the world she needs. That's why she don't do nothing but live in the berry. You know she won't get light. She got all
have a good night. And peace and love. Black power. All power to the people. Yeah.
And talking about these time being gone.
And of course, I don't own the rights to that. I'm just giving y'all time to get up in here.
and get out of here. See, that was at the bottom. I mean, that was at the top. Now we're at the bottom, and we right back at the top where we started off at the beginning, because the beginning is the end. Is that? Peace. I'm out. Black power. Power. People.
Babe, all right. What you can't handle, heavy load.
Now, I hope Facebook don't mind this broadcast.
These are the last words that I got to say.
We ain't using no profanity or nothing wrong, so let's keep it strong. And at least y'all click on over to my YouTube channel just in case.
Yes, if I don't see you tomorrow,
They harder over there.
I hope I'll meet you early.
Anybody want to share the broadcast, share the broadcast. Get it out there. Black Hot Wall.
And with that said, let me do one.
Savoring the scent of meal to come. Look fear of the groups, only a heightened sense of purpose. Now, as then, a feast approaches, patient and humbled, savoring the meal to come. This beast is made of men and horses, swords and spears. An army of slaves vast beyond imagining, ready to devour tiny groups, ready to snuff out the world's one hope for reason and justice. A beast approaching.
Your next words are bad for you. They may be your last. It's clear.
But you'll find plenty of both down there. No more. First you open, no man friends a messenger. You gather the crimes of the heads of conquered kings to my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. I've chosen my ones carefully, Persian. While she should have done the same. This is blasphemy. This is madness.